welcome back to Craft in Korea. I'm Maggie and this is FlossTube number 13. I am so excited to be back. Things got crazy busy, but I wanted to give a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed and wants me to keep making these videos. The big news is that I have 100+ subscribers. Yay! Thank you! So that leads us right into our Korean word of the day, which will be the word for subscribe, which is 구독, 구독. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. 구독해주세요. So thank you everyone who's already subscribed, and I hope you guys stick around and I'll keep making these videos. So since it's been a while since I made a video, I thought that it would be kind of fun to do like a year of stitching in review. January is just about ended here, and I've been stitching for over 1 year now. I started back in December 2017 and I stitched a whole year, and here we are. So I'm going to have a lot of pictures and stuff to insert, so keep your eye out for it over here for everything I'm going to show as we go through my stitchy year. So back in December I started my first ever cross stitch. I just went to my local little shop and picked up some 14 count sparkly Aida and a pattern and just jumped right in. So I started the SODAStitch Norigae pattern, and they are the Korean tassels. I stitched the smaller version, so there's actually a bigger, more detailed version available. And when I finally finished them, I framed them individually myself and hung them on my wall. So here is that picture, if I haven't shown you already. I'm so happy. I saw them in these 3 frames as like a finishing suggestion on the pattern, and I was just like, that's what I'm doing right there. I want it. We're good. So that was my first ever cross stitch, although it wasn't the first one I finished. It's the first one I started, so there it is, done. The next thing that I started was actually my big parrot piece, which if you've been following me on this channel, you know that that took up my big chunk of the beginning of my stitchy year. And that has been finished and sent off to my boyfriend's mom. And so excited that she has that and she loves it. So that was my second piece, and it's great. I love it. I'm so happy about it. The rest of my like fully finished FFO things are smalls. So I did cross stitch ATC's exchange, I did the Texas Stitchers exchange, and I also did the Fruits ornament swap. So lots of fun little swappy things. So my cross stitch ATCs, I participated for about 6 months, and so each month had a different theme, and you stitched a very small little piece and put it on a card. The theme, my first month was April, and the theme was initials. So I actually made extras for my friends because they were just like so cute. And so I stitched their name with the first letter of their name with their name written in Korean. So one for Jennifer, Annie, and Hanan. Then May was Cat's Feline Frenzy. I stitched a pattern from an October, maybe it was a Halloween or October, like just cross stitch. And I like changed the pattern and made the cat brown and stitched the grass in variegated floss, and I got rid of the pumpkins to make it more springy. So there he is. June was horror, and when I think of horror, I think of H.P. Lovecraft. So I stitched a mini cute Cthulhu. He's so cute. Look at that. July was the letter A, and they're simple. A is for apple, and I stitched this cute apple from a SODAStitch pattern. So A is for apple. August was MIA Blitz, which means that she just checks to make sure everyone got everything for the previous months. And then September was Pirates versus Princesses, and I stitched a cute little free DMC pirate. So he is on the DMC website. You can find him. He's free. Of course, I changed all the colors and edited him a little bit because I do that. And then October was the last one I did, and that was cutesy, cute themed, and I love penguins. I think penguins are the cutest animals ever. So, cute little penguin. And he's also from a SODAStitch pattern. Can you tell the SODAStitch? So those were my ATCs. And then for the Texas Stitcher Swap, we were supposed to stitch something that was either patriotic or summery. So I took this Lizzie Kate pattern that says Liberty, and I added a hat from Uncle Sam from a Brooks Books pattern, her summer small set. And then during that time, I also decided to stitch a second small for my friend. And so then I stitched this one, which is extra adorable because I stitched the tiny little Uncle Sam to go with it. And I finished that one as a Vonna flat fold kind of thing. It was interesting. I'm happy with how it turned out. Is it the best flat fold ever? No, but hopefully I can get some better at those. But those were my first two non-framing finishes as well, so super excited. I mean, okay, ATCs aren't frames, but you just like stick it on there and done. This was like, I had to do work. Okay, and then my last small that I finished, and this was back in November, and that was a Christmas ornament for my Fruits swap, which is the Fluffy Rainbow Unicorn Kawaii Stitchers. All things adorable. And this is a little stitcher pattern from Russet Christmas, and they are little gingerbread men, and because it's all about fruitness, that is all cutesy and everything, it has lots of sparkle because sparkle is cute, right? So those are my FFOs that I have done in the entire year that I have been stitching. So I have two projects that are finished that have not been like framed or done in like a flat fold or something. And let me go ahead and grab those for you guys so you can see them. So the first one is one you've seen before. Ooh, focusing. Sorry. The first one is one you've seen before, and that is my Quaker Freebie. And it goes this way. So here is Quaker Freebie. To put over my face so it'll focus. I stitched this on the 14 count sparkly Aida that I coffee tea dyed using the Priscilla and Chelsea method mixed with just Google. Because I also baked it. So I think that, and I can't remember if that's part of their method or not. So you can see the fabric. So gorgeous. I love this. I love how it turned out. It hasn't been framed yet, so I have yet to cut off the excess, but I'm definitely going to do something small with some of this excess because there's a lot of it. Clearly, I overestimated how big this pattern was, but I love it. I stitched it with some of my Victorian Motto sampler threads, which I've been collecting all year, and I love how it turned out. So cute. Love those colors. Okay, the second finish, I don't know if you guys have seen it, because I didn't watch my last video before I did this. So, for Mania, I only started 5 projects because it was my first year. I already had some things that were started, but I was like, Mania, I have to start the new things. And so I kind of made excuses to start things so that I had a reason to start all the things. And so I started, this is Fairy Tale Sampler by DragonDreams. So I'm going to hold it nice and slow so you can see. The castle is cross-stitched, and then it has specialty stitches between each section, stitched in Karen Water Lily silks, colors sky blue, pink, and mulberry. And it has beads. You can see them sparkling there at the bottom. And Krennic and more specialty stitches. So I made 2 changes to this. The sword is not charted in sparkle, but I thought it says magic blade, it should sparkle, right? And also I darkened the color of the vine. So the vine was supposed to be like this pale green, and I made it nice and dark green. This is my first time doing specialty stitches, my first time with silks, my first time with beads. This is like my first time for everything piece. First time with doing this treasure, which you had to attach with a French knot, and the French knot kept slipping through. So let me show you the little frog. Look at that little frog. Cover my face to focus. There you go. Look at that little frog. He's so cute. Okay, so that is a finish. This is slightly an odd size. Like, it's pretty and I love it, but it's not quite an A4 or A3 size. I think it's a little tall for A3, so I'm having trouble finding a frame. This is stitched in the called for colors, minus my 2 little changes, and the fabric I used is a comparable color. So it's not the called for, but it is very similar. And this is Copper Sand by Barbara L. Creations on Etsy. And you can see it's sparkly, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. And I have another piece. It's like the same size. So those are my 2 finishes that are not hung up yet. Okay, so we are just moving right along. Now it's time for the whip parade. Woo, woo, woo. Whip parade. Everyone loves a good whip parade, right? So everyone's doing their like Year of Whips, Stitch 9. I have 5 whips, so I can't do Year of Whips. I don't even have Stitch 9 because then I have to start some things. But I'll just show you what I have. Maybe I'll stitch 9 planets this year. That would be good. Okay, so the first, since we're talking about planets, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It is my solar system. So, if you have not seen this before because you haven't been watching me or you've just come back for the first time in a while, I wanted to start these probably back in January last year. So I saw actually Ginger Gerald stitching these and I loved them because they're accurate to the point where it's not kind of cartoony and fakesy. Like, they look real. They make you feel like you're looking at the planets. So I was really excited about them and I really wanted to do them, but they're charted individually. So you can buy like the set, but you're still buying Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, like this, each pattern individually. And that's cool, but I wanted to stitch them together, like, and make it kind of look like the solar system, like the sun in the middle and the planets like all around it, right? Like, just make it fun and make it kind of look more spacey instead of having like 9 or 10 frames. Well, that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I'm not going to show the pattern, but I'm going to show you what the pattern pages look like. So when I first thought, I thought, oh, this will be easy. I'll just put them all, like, lay them out, and I can just figure out how many, like, stitches between I want each one, and then count over and start the next one. My problem was that they were all different sizes, and it was really hard to adjust for that. So, for example, here's the sun. It's black because I colored it, because I finished. And so you can see I have my color key, my symbol key, and then my sun. The sun is 75 by 65 stitches. So 75, 65. Okay? And this is Mercury. So Mercury is 32 stitches square. So 32 by 32. And it's like the same size as the sun. Because of the grid, she just made it fill the whole page. So you can see a small grid, big grid. There you go. Small grid, big grid. Now I've covered this so you can't see the pattern, but you can see how big it is. So I couldn't just like put the charts next to each other and be like, oh, that'll be like 10 stitches in between. So then I thought I'll just rechart everything. But then when I recharted it, like everything was huge. And that wasn't going to work. So finally, I showed this on my channel before, I came up with this idea where I just drew it. I just mapped out the circle size, what it would be when it was stitched, and drew a picture. Can you guys see my picture? Okay, it's kind of hard to see because it's pencil. Okay, so you can kind of see how the layout's going to be. Sun in the middle, then Mercury, Venus down the bottom, then Earth and the moon, got the moon in there too. Okay, and Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I included Pluto. I grew up in the 90s, so Pluto counts, okay? It's still out there. It didn't go away. Even we aren't calling it a planet anymore. It's still there. So that's the plan now. And then I started stitching it. And I was going to do color completion. I thought that would be easiest. And I discovered that that was a lot of counting. And I know it's counted cross stitch, but guys, no one really wants to count. So I ended up doing a little bit of color completion and like kind of not really doing it, not doing a 10 square, but like a block. Oh, stitch the next color that was really close to that one and then like stitch around. And so it kind of like grew outwards. So that was for the sun. And then for Mercury, I started as well. And I did the outline first, and then I'm slowly filling it into the middle. Okay, so here it is. Let's put the pattern behind so you can see. So there is the sun in all of its glory. And right next to it, there is Mercury. I'm starting to do. Now, I'm a little worried because Mercury looks like it's the same color as the background. So I might have to outline it in either black or a light gray, so it kind of like pops. But I'm super excited. The sun really pops. And I just, oh, when I look on the camera from like way back here, I love it even more. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm really happy with how this is turning out and how this is going. The sun, I stitched two strands over 3 threads. This is a 36 count fabric, so that makes this about 9 count. 9 count? 12 count. 12 count? I can do math. Because math, Stephanie. So about 12 count. So it's pretty big. And then I'm stitching Mercury 2 over 2 on 36 count. So that's 18 count size. So, and then everything else is going to be 2 over 2 except for the moon, which I'm going to do 1 over 1 because I want it to be tiny. And I'm excited, but I'm scared because like 1 over 1 on 36 count, guys. Ah! But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be great. I love it. I love it. This fabric, I forgot to mention, is Old Witch Cape by Barbara L. Creations. Again, I love her fabric. It's awesome. And it's a linen. Okay, so that is first big whip, the elephant of the whip. You know, we're going to put this back here so we can see it because it's pretty. Because it's pretty. Look at my son. Okay, so that was that one. People who don't like wrestling, I'm really sorry. I know that it can be apparently really noisy on like earbuds and stuff, but there's going to be a little bit of wrestling. Okay, the next whip we're going to talk about is a Mania Start. This is, ooh, yawning. This is Into the Jungle by Frosted Pumpkin. I bought the kit for this, so this is on the called for Lugana in all the called for colors. And it needs to be ironed or something. Okay. this is what I have so far. The sloth is January, the toucans were February, the frog was March, and now the tiger is April. So I'm clearly behind on this because we're starting a new one for this year. Each box is supposed to have a border, which I haven't done, obviously. And that's partially because I didn't like the color. So the color of the border is the same as this plant here. It's this light pink color. And I don't think that's very jungly. And I saw some people did it like with variegated, or they chose like an overdyed, or they just went with dark greens. And so I haven't decided what I want to do, or if I like, some people did them all one color and some people did them in 2 colors. So I'm still working on how I want to do that. But right now I'm loving it without anything, actually, without any kind of, hold please, sorry. Without any kind of border. But I want to get back to working on that in a little bit later up. So that's that one. Next project let's talk about is my other mania start, and that is Sleepy Hollow. I love Sleepy Hollow. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I should have been including pictures of what that's supposed to look like, but if I didn't, here's a picture of what it's supposed to look like, hopefully. And this is where I'm at right now. So I have a lot of the horse stitched. I've been working on the saddle right here. The saddle. You can see where his foot's going to go. And then I stitched the grass and the tombstones at the bottom, and I'm working on the tree. And I absolutely love this. Sleepy Hollow is one of my faves. So this is not on the called for fabric. The called for fabric is Haunted by Picture This Plus. And this is Mirage that I got for my first ever overdyed, or not overdyed, hand-dyed fabric. Is actually this piece of Mirage by Pixelist Plus. This is Lugana, I think, even weave, and I love it. It's a great color for this. It works really, really well because it's kind of got that gray sky color without being as like purpley green as Haunted is in some cases. So there, one more time, love it. And my Moomin. I made all my own needle binders, so if you guys are interested and you saw one that you like, let me know and I will hook you up because I make my own needle binders and I love them. Okay, so that was, I forgot, Sleepy Hollow. I'm holding it and I can't remember what it's called. Okay, so we got, those are the ones you've all seen before. Whew, excuse me. Okay, those are the ones you guys have seen before. So the next thing I want to talk about is the one I think you guys thought I was going to start the last time. And that is my ABC from SODAStitch that I'm turning into a birth sampler. And where did I put the pattern? Here it is. So here's the pattern. That's what it's going to look like. And down here at the bottom, there's another alphabet, and I'm not going to stitch that alphabet. Instead, I'm going to pull the letters and write the name and birth information for my niece, my cute little niece. So, I'm stitching this on white and not this like chalkboardy gray color that they called for. Mixed feelings about that, guys, actually. This is just Zweigart white 28 count linen, and I'm not impressed. I think I like the overdyeds and hand dyeds better just because they have a slightly tighter weave. But it's a big boy. So here we go. So there's the whole piece. Poor little sweater. So absolutely love how it's turning out. I was really going to town on this, and then I realized like I wasn't going to finish it by Christmas. And on top of that, I'm only like halfway done. So it looks like, wow, you've done so much, but then I'm only to O, which you're like, oh, that's great, but then I gotta stitch her whole name and all that information at the bottom. So it's a little bit more than you think. One thing that's become interesting with the white is obviously like the white duck isn't going to show up very well. So what I did is I outlined, there you go, I outlined him in like a really pale yellow. I did the same for the gloves with the blue. Okay. And then the ice cream was supposed to be like white vanilla ice cream. And I changed it to mint chocolate chip because that's my sister's favorite. And also it's adorable because it's that cute green. So I've had to like add back stitching where before there wasn't any back stitching. I still need to do those bubbles. See those bubbles disappear into the fabric, but they're there. I mean, I really love it. It's turning out really well. I just needed a little bit of a break because it's really big. And like I said, the fabric's not my favorite to work on. It's just plain old. Everything's in the called for except for the words, which I'm stitching in a Barbara L. floss called Ash. You can kind of see. It's kind of like a blue-gray. So there's that. Okay. Zip. My last whip. My last whip is Steotch. If you don't know what Steotch is, it's a mystery stitch-along with this lots of snark and maybe a little cursing. And for the first like 7 weeks, you have like no idea what it is. It could be, you could be stitching the whole thing upside down, and then at the last minute, they're like, just kidding, it goes this way. And you've been stitching this way the whole time. So like, it's a little cray-cray, but it's super fun. And so I was stitching in order of, excuse me. I was stitching in order of the pattern, like releases, and then I got off and I miscounted, and I was like, we're gonna wait until I have more pattern, because there were like huge, like count 57 stitches, and you're like counting, and if you messed up, like I was like, So this year's pattern, which I'm gonna hold way back here for like 5 seconds so you can just see it real fast, is home is where the thing is. Okay? So, and then you got to choose your own colors. It was like choose your own adventure, choose your own colors. So I chose 4, it was 4 colors you had to choose. And I'll show you my palette first. So I chose $9.95, $9.96, $3.33, and $9.07. So you can see these all together. So the blues are my main color, and then I have this accents of purple and green. I love it. It's so bright, but also like classy bright. I don't know, like not like neon everywhere. Okay, so here he is, Steotch. So I have home, and it's gonna be M. I is where the, and then something is. And I'm thinking home is where the Wi-Fi connects automatically, but I'm not sure yet. I live in South Korea. The Wi-Fi always connects automatically everywhere. So we'll see about that. But for now, home is what I'm working on. Home is where. And that is my last whip. Last whip. Okay, whips finished. Okay, the rest of this video is going to be stash and like haul and then chit chat at the end. So if you are done, you just want to see cute patterns and what I'm stitching, then I guess I'll see you guys next time. But I hope you'll stay around and see the rest of my stitchy year. Okay, so let's get into the haul part, I guess, or the stash. So the first thing I'm actually going to show you is going to be a picture, just so I don't have to move the camera and everything. And that is of my Victorian Motto Sampler Shop Floss of the Month Club sets. Okay, say that 5 times fast because that's like the longest name ever. So Victorian Motto Sampler Shop does 2 colorways, primitive and limited, and then she makes a full set has 12, but she makes like a couple multiple sets each month because there's so many people in her club. But so I get 6 primitive and 6 limited each month, and I've been doing that since March. Well, April, but I signed up in April, but I could get some from March, so I got 2 months in April. So here is their picture of how I have them hung up right now. This took a lot of planning. It was really hard to figure out what I wanted to do. So I have them on a coat rack, and then they're on these giant 6.5 centimeter binder rings. They open, and then you can just like go to the one you want and open them. And I am planning on remaking their cards so that I can add a couple holes on them for stitchy threads like that after I've used them. But that's their current home. I'm really happy because I can look over and see them all the time. This is actually where I stitch. I rarely sit on the couch. I actually usually sit on the floor. And they're right here on this wall off to the side. And so let me just look over real fast. Oh yeah, they're still there. They're so beautiful. I love it. So now I can see them. I'm hoping I'll be able to use them more, especially substituting into patterns that have a little bit more freedom of color. Unlike the planets, which I can't change the colors, obviously it would affect the look. I'm hoping to stitch more things like my little Quaker where I could change the colors. So, yay! This year I also did a Fabric of the Month club, and I did that through Barbara L. Creations. So if you haven't heard me say her name 5 million times, check her out on Etsy below. You'll love her stuff. Everyone who's been talking about like X-Jude designs, she does awesome stuff too. I just went with Barbara and I couldn't be happier. So let me show you my stack of fabric here. So in her club, you can choose obviously Aida, even weave, or linen, and you can choose a big cut or a small cut. So a big cut is a fat quarter and a small cut is a fat eighth. And then each month you actually get 2 colors of that. So I get 18 count Aida, and I'm not going to take them all out of the bags, but I will show you a preview again of the colors. Some of these you haven't seen, and I'm sorry, this video will be 5 hours if I take them all out. If you really want to see and you're really curious and you want me to make a video of all my fabric, let me know in the comments and we'll do that if by popular demand. So the first one is for April, and this is called Brickyard and Old Blue, and this one has like spots of brown. It kind of looks like dirty blue jeans, like you went and played outside. Okay, so May, we got Mother of Pearl, which I absolutely love because Mother of Pearl is super, super famous here in Korea. They use it in their woodwork. And then the other one is called Old Absinthe, and it's a nice green color. Okay, then we have June. June, we have orange for safari. We're going to go somewhere fun. And this is turquoise wave. And you can't see this because it's in the package, but it's actually like an ombre turquoise. Okay, July is graffiti. Rainbow, but like very distinct spotches. And lava. This is black and red. And that's showing pretty, I would say that's showing pretty good to color. Like it's bright red. Okay, that was July. Forgot what month we were in. August, I got camo. Can you imagine some like army stitch on that? That would be cute. And magic potion, which this is just calling for all the Halloween smalls, guys. All of them. So we go to September, not even to October yet, September. And we got autumn shadow, which is orange and green, and I really like that. And this brilliant purple called Purple Rain. Ooh, gorgeous. Okay, October was the month of purple, I feel like. This is called Blue Camel, but I feel it's kind of like a purpley blue. It's got a little bit of brown. And then Pink Mist. So this is like a pinky purple. There's definitely hits of like bright pink up in here. It's hard to see in the plastic. Sorry, guys. That was October. Okay, November, we got a very bright mandarin. Oh, yeah. And then a neutral sandstone. I'm excited about this sandstone. I love that, love that, love that. And then December, which is the last one I've gotten yet. So they ship near the end of the month. And so I usually get, I'll get January's at the beginning of February. So we actually have Lunar New Year next week, so it's gonna be a while. But my next video I'll have them and I'll show January's. So December I got mauve, which is a beautiful pink, a purple, dark, rich mauve color. Imagine that. And this bright yellow called daffodil, which I love. That's a great color. So that is just my fabric of the month. I signed up, so when you sign up for like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and I signed up for the whole year. So March will be my last month of this. And that's okay, because I think I've got enough fabric for a while, guys. And I will not against Ada. I love stitching on even weaves and linens. That's what I've been working a lot of these projects on. But there's also something nice about stitching on Ada. Steotch is on Ada, and it's so much easier to count. Like, oh, I love that it's so much easier to count. Okay, so then I have some stash, just some stash that I thought I'd show from Fabric Stash. So I have leftover copper sand. I have a whole like fat quarter left because I bought a fat quarter and I have a fat eighth left because I just cut it in half, and that was enough fabric. So copper sand. Okay, so then I bought these two, and I think I've shown them on my video before. I bought Rhyolite, which is a brownish neutral, kind of darker. And then I got Gray Cloud, which is more of a blue-gray. And those are both a fat quarter. I want to say a fat quarter. They're 66 by 50 centimeters. And there's like 30 centimeters in a foot. So that's like 1.5 feet. So 2 feet. 2 feet. 24 by 18. That would be 66, which is actually like a little bit more, like 24, 27, 28. Yeah, 27 by 18. That's a fat quarter. So those are fat quarters. And then I got, this is a darker, like kind of a darker, more neutral called Lightstone, which I really love. These are both 28 count. These are both 28 count. And then the copper sand was 28 count. And this is a 32 count. So I went for the like a little bit different, 32 count. Okay, and then you guys haven't seen these because I got these on a D-stash. So I went home for Christmas. Sorry about the crinkle, but not really. I went home for Christmas and I saw in like early November, late November, early December, someone was doing a D-stash, and I was like, hey, I can get some of those things, send it to my mom's house, and then pick them up. So the first one I got is called Midas Touch. It is a silk weaver 32 count Wexford linen. So here is that Midas Touch. I went for more neutrals. I don't really, because my Barbara L creations aren't so neutrally, I'm trying to get some good neutrals for later. So it looks really nice. I love the colors. Really happy with that. Okay, the next one is from the Crafty Kitten. And this is a .32 count linen as well. And this is from Crafty Kitten in the color Brown Tabby. Feels like green and blue. It's kind of like, it's showing up really like green and purple on camera, but I think it's more like gray than purple. Love that. And then I couldn't resist myself. She had a cut of the Barbara Creations Old Witch Cape in 32 count. So this one appears to have less browns on it than mine 36 count does. So let me pull this over here. Whoa. So if you look behind the sun, there's like a big brown spot. And this one clearly has a little bit more lighter sections, more bluey green color. But gorgeous, gorgeous. I mean, and I love this, so it will find a use. It's like having chalkboard fabric. Everyone's like, I need more chalkboard. So I'll put this one back over there. So those are my fabrics. That's all my fabric, guys. I have a ton of fabric. Don't need to buy any more. Still have some sparkly Ada left, so I've been using this for everything. I might coffee tea dye it again, or I found some powder Rit dyes at my local store. Might have to do that. And then I got some oatmeal or natural Ada, and then like I think it's a 14 count as well. So crinkle, crinkle. Sorry, people. Not sorry. Get over it. Okay, so last couple thing is show off a couple of my kits that I have. So first one is actually from Barbara. She did a Halloween box. Oh, let me talk about this for a second. Barbara did a seasonal box. It was a Halloween fall box. It came with a stitchy project, a little snack, some tea. It came with these adorable pumpkins. Okay, get ready, get ready. Isn't that adorable? She handmade all of these little pumpkins with a pen. And it's got a sewing needle in it. Like, how cute is that? Oh my gosh, I die. I die every time I look at this. This is so cute. So cute. Okay, so we got these little cute little pumpkins, and she sent, like I said, she sent a kit, like the whole thing. You can make the whole thing with the finishing and instructions and everything. And that, the one she sent is Halloween stocking. It's an ornament. It's small. Sent backing fabric, everything. I mean, just look how cute that is. Look how cute that is. Okay, the next thing that I have is a kit. Was actually my Christmas present from my sister-in-law. And I'm so happy. Like, I love, this is a beautiful pattern. And now I have the kit. And that is the dimensions. What is it called? Mason jar lineup. So dimensions, mason jar lineup. That's what it's gonna look like. Yeah, they have it in a frame. So pretty. full kit, brand new, with Ada, which is fine. I don't care. I like Ada. So I'm excited about that. Really excited about that. And I think that's pretty much it on the stitchy front. So now I guess we just get to sit back and relax and hear me talk some more. So, life updates. Where have I been? So my last video was, I think, back in October. It might have been September. I actually recorded a video sometime between my last video and my most current one, this one, and I never uploaded it because I didn't edit it. So that's kind of been the big thing for me with these videos, was the video time didn't actually take that long. Sit down, you film it, maybe 1-2 takes, maybe 2, you know, like try and do it fast, and then you're done. And the hardest part was actually editing the video together, adding all these little subtitles, or like inserting pictures so you can see all the stuff I've done. And just the thought of editing and spending all that time was like exhausting me. So I didn't edit it, and I didn't upload it, and I just let it kind of disappear. And I was kind of bummed because I was really enjoying doing the YouTube thing, you know, making the FlossTube videos for everyone. So that happened, but also Korean classes happening and just being busy. And then my boyfriend and I were planning on flying to America and seeing my family, and that was super fun and exciting, but also like really stressful. And so that we went over for Christmas and we had a wonderful time. Maybe I'll share stories about that later, but big idea. That was stressful, getting everything prepared and ready to go. And then we were there for 2 weeks, and then we came back, and then it's like readjusting to being back and into the year craziness. The Korean school year ends at the end of February. So like right now everyone's like, wow, do all the workbooks and make sure you finish everything and recital for the end of the year. Like that's my life in like for the last like 3 weeks. And then before that, it was like Christmas and prepping for traveling, and it's been crazy. Next week is actually Seolnal, which is really exciting, and it'll be fun. But again, more like little stresses. So Seolnal is Lunar New Year, and or some people call it Chinese New Year because the Chinese also celebrate Lunar New Year. And that means I get a 5-day weekend, but I'm going to be busy the whole weekend. So it's like really hard to find time. And one thing I noticed is that sometimes I would rather be stitching than actually making a video about stitching, which some of you guys I'm sure can understand. And like when I work on the sun, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Look how it's coming. I can see it now. I can see it. And I don't want to put it down and make a video. I want to keep stitching on it. So that's been really hard overall. Okay, the last thing is not a life update. It's my knitting update, and it's throwing on here. I don't remember the last time you saw this. This is my sweater. The pattern is Ease. You can buy it on Ravelry. It is stitched top down, and then you go back and add like the collar and everything. So here it is. So it's gonna be big. I'm excited. It'll be fluffy. I'm just starting on the very bottom part. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be really great. So working on that when I have time. When I have time. So really, really excited about everything I have going on, my projects. Definitely some things I want to start. I have some things I need to get fabric for, or I need to get flosses for, but for the most part, I'm just ready and excited to start some new things. I want to do some smalls this year. Plans. Okay, plans. I want to stitch the planets. I want to finish Steotch and Into the Jungle. And the ABC sampler, of course. Then I probably want to finish next, probably Sleepy Hollow. I really do love Sleepy Hollow. Excuse me. Apparently, I'm exhausted. And then maybe I'll start something new, but mostly I will start small things. Might be fun to do like Halloween ornaments and Halloween tree or something. But not really any plans other than stitching on this bad boy. And then when I get bored or tired of him, something in that pile that you just saw. So that's my plans. I may or may not stick to them, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you will like and subscribe, and I hope that I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at SukishaLove, or you can follow me obviously here on YouTube at Craft in Korea. I'll also leave my email down below if you guys want to email me any questions or anything. And I guess I'll see you next time. Thank you. Annyeong. Bye.